I'm at 11037 Woodlands Way, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. We are accessing the PVC stack in the center of the basement in the little closet area here. We're going to go through this stack. We tried to go through the sink stack previously, and it's just so full of grease it covered the lens and just made it difficult to see. So we're going to go through this line first, and then we will try to go back to that sink line and inspect the first 20 feet or so through that, just to get a look at it. But mainly, if we're going to use this will get 90% of the line. So as you can see, this is the gray stack, and if you look through the doorway, there's the rest of the basement, so you can kind of get an idea where we are. So we should be coming over and lying in. Should be PVC all the way out. We can't always get access to every branch. This should be the main line going down. There are floor drains and other stacks that come into it. Usually the Y would be, which was before, is probably the toilet and bathroom. Now we are wiring into a larger pipe. This would be the main line heading out of the house. Here's another line. So this is probably the bathroom. Okay, looks like we have some root intrusion here. It's not a whole lot. We might be able to take care of that with some chemicals, but there is a little bit of root intrusion, and it looks like a possible crack at that joint, which is allowing the root intrusion. And so this looks like it's right at a connection. I will locate that on the way back. It's approximately 46.5 feet out. That counter is kind of a rough estimate. It goes by the rotation of the drum. It's not exact, so I do have the ability to locate. So I will locate and mark this spot. But there is ways of remedying that or maintaining that to be sure that it doesn't cause future issues. There's permanent solutions, and then there's maintenance solutions that can keep that from getting worse. But looks like it's just before it exits the house. You can see this white, this is schedule 40 PVC. And then once it exits the house, it goes from a 4 to a 6 inch. And then when it switches to that 6 inch, it goes into an SDR 30, or 35, I'm sorry. And they're roughly the same pipe strength. It's just two different rating systems. But so far, most of the line looks good. We just found that little bit of roots there. And that's probably, that crack has probably been there since it was installed, which means the roots aren't growing very fast, but nonetheless, the roots are there. It's not common with PVC, the way that it's put together. You don't have a lot of root intrusion, especially not on a house this new. So far, all the other spots look great. Right here, I do want to note, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, there's an angle indicator which shows how much this line is dropping. And I'm at a 55-degree angle, so this is, the water is flying through here. That's a lot of drop. We should be leveling out here. Usually when they do this, they are very close to a deep main and they have to try to get it deep in a hurry. It looks like we're lying into the main now. So at 91, 92 feet here, we've made it all the way to the main. The line looks great for the most part. We just have that one spot with the crack that is allowing some root intrusion. That is something that, like I said, on the way back here, we will mark it with an exact location, and then I will refer this to a licensed plumber on whether or not this is something that should be maintenanced or if it needs an actual repair done on that spot. The line does have a lot of drop in it also, which is good. As you can see, there's no solids, so when it is being used, it looks like all the solids are taken all the way out to the main without much flow, which is a good sign. Okay, here we are coming back into the white PVC, the Schedule 40. And then I'm going to stop right here for that root intrusion. You can see that small crack right there on the left side of the screen, and that's what's allowing the root intrusion. So again, I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to locate the exact location of this for further evaluation. Okay, I'm trying to get this. For some reason, the monitor is not responding, and we're not sure what's going on here. Okay, looks like we have looks like the image here is still now for some reason. It was fine until I just unpaused the video. I hope you can hear the audio. We're gonna see. Okay, there we go. I think it came back. I don't know if it was recording properly, but there we go. So this is marked at 6'7", right outside the foundation or right under the foundation. Again, I'm going to suggest a second opinion as far as what action to take on this. To either dig it up and repair it, that's the only permanent solution, or you can do maintenance on it, but there's definitely some root intrusion. The rest of the line, everything else looks great. You just have that one spot there, which I want to make sure I make note of that footage also. It is about 47 feet or so, 46 and a half. And then I am going to make an attempt to go back through that kitchen line just to get until it ties into that main line, just so we can take a look at that. Make sure there's not too much grease built up in there. Usually grease can be taken care of when you run the dishwasher or stuff like that. The water's hot enough to where it'll help flush it out, but you do want to obviously keep as much grease from going down there as possible, but fabric softener can also contribute to that. But obviously in this case it's not on the same stack. So pulled all the way back. We are back in the drum, and so I'm going to pause the video again, and I'm going to move to the kitchen stack and make an attempt to do the 20 feet before it ties into the main line. Okay, so we have made a move over to the sink line, and so we're hoping that we can get down through this sink line now without getting a bunch of goo on the front of the camera this time, so we can just see this little bit of pipe. Make sure that this is all good here. See, it almost immediately goes into it. You can see all this grease build up. I think it would be a good idea. See all that falling off? I think this would be a good idea for a jetting on this line, because I know as soon as I push through this, it's going to cover again. There's just a lot of buildup of grease right here. So I think it'd be a good idea to jet this kitchen line too. There's a lot of, you can see, hopefully we'll get through all this, but there's a lot of grease buildup. You see, I'm still pushing stuff here. Try to verify that we're out far enough. I'm coming into the main line here. You can kind of see it. I can see it. I'm used to looking at the camera. But so I've done that branch, but we're going to try to run some more water real quick, rinse it off, and then we'll finish the inspection. Some water. Just gotta make sure we get out past where the water's coming in. can tell it changed color, so we are outside the house. Here we go. And so we are back at that root spot. Now see, I think I just actually knocked some of those roots loose. Maybe some of that grease. But you can tell we're back at that spot with the roots. And it looks like there is it's either the clean out, maybe a stack or something right there as that goes in. There's drywall up it's on the finished side of the basement, so there may be something, a clean out in the floor there before it exits. They usually have something. So, and this is the kitchen line. This is the branch anyway, I'm sorry. And then we should most likely come back into another branch. Here we go. Here's the dedicated sink line. You'll see as we get back there's going to be more and more chunks of grease. There we go. As it's falling back into the flow line. Kitchen lines, like I mentioned, are pretty nasty because of this. People put food, and just because it's got a like with the dishwasher, some food gets by in grease, and then also when you have a garbage disposal on the line, a bunch of stuff gets thrown down there that shouldn't. But you can see, even though I've got that stuff on the front, this has got a lot of junk in it. And so I'm back vertical, but I am going to recommend that you see about, since they're going to have somebody come out and evaluate the spot with the roots. If somebody's coming out, I would recommend having the sink line flushed, jetted to get rid of the grease. I don't think it's going to, in that branch, it's not going to cause any backups soon, but just because it is there. It's an awful lot of buildup there in that 3-inch pipe. But the rest of the line looked good, other than the roots. I'm going to again recommend that be evaluated by a plumber to see what they think of the severity of that, and be able to give you some options as to how to move forward. But the rest of the line, other than that, looked really good. So that'll end the inspection at 11037 Woodlands Way.